I want to talk about, before I move on to the next ones, that I always start with Core Plus, okay? Whenever somebody says, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, I've got this, I've started asking you guys the question, because if you call me and say, so-and-so has this, this, that, and this, I'll say, what do you think they should be on? Because after you've heard me 7,500 times, you should know. What am I going to say? I'm going to say the Core Plus. I'm going to say the Core Plus. That's where we start. If somebody does start with just sulfur and they haven't cleansed, it will not be shocking to me if they in 3-4 weeks are like, I don't feel anything. Yeah, you're junked up. You got to get it out. And also, you have a lot of people out there running around like taking gummy vitamins, or they've been sold some one hit wonder product, and they're like, hey, don't just give me one thing. Can't I just take one thing that'll solve all my problems? No. Our bodies are amazing machines. You cannot just give it a gummy vitamin and think you're going to solve all your problems. We have multiple different organs. It's an amazing machine. And so that is why I love this, because it does address all of the issues and it allows the body to work the way it's made to work. We've, like I said, just destroyed it for a long time. The Superfruits, if somebody says, what should I start on? Really, bare minimum Core Plus. Next level up, Core Plus and Superfruits. As many of them as you can possibly do, okay? I'm going to start with the Mangosteen. I have a few bullet points up here, but I'm going to really talk about the power of these superfruits. Now, I want you to know each of our superfruits are wildly harvested from the regions where they've been grown for thousands of years. Okay, so these have been used for medicinal purposes for thousands of years in different areas around the world. So before we even knew they existed, they were already used as an anti-inflammatory, as an antihistamine. All of these different things, okay? But we have 3 decades here in our country of clinical published evidence on mangosteen. Now, you can go buy, not all of the superfruits, but Noni you could probably go get online from Whole Foods, just like you can go get chia online, and I've already explained to you the difference. Ours is a blend of seeds from different areas. Our chia, it's been opened. But the mangosteen, the Noni, the Goji, it's 100% wildly harvested, number one. And when they ship it to us, it's flash frozen. So it's not powdered down and shipped and then rehydrated with a juice or a water, which is what a lot of companies do. Ours is 100% mangosteen. There's been nothing added to it to make it taste good. Which mangosteen isn't so bad tasting. It's the Noni that most of us wish they would add something to, and a lot of the competitors have added things to it. But if I'm going to talk about the mangosteen for just a minute and some of the benefits, it's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory and antihistamines because it decreases the C-reactive protein in your bloodstream. C-reactive protein causes inflammation. It's one of the things we test for if somebody comes in and they have rheumatoid arthritis or some sort of, we know it's an inflammatory disease. We're checking your C-reactive protein. Mangosteen naturally decreases that. Now, I'm not talking about Pure's product mangosteen. I'm talking about the mangosteen fruit that's grown for thousands of years in these areas, and then we're 100% mangosteen. It contains xanthones. This is one of the special things about this fruit that makes it so powerful. They're powerful phytonutrients that get rid of free radicals. Free radicals, we all know those are bad, and lots of things cause them. Stress, toxic environments. And so the xanthones decrease the free radicals. Studies published in the International Journal of Molecular Studies on xanthosis, that's a long word for a journal, show that mangosteen has been shown to decrease inflammation, decrease risk of cardiovascular disease, decrease lung diseases. So whether you're struggling with asthmas, emphysema, bronchitis, COPD, any type of lung disease, you want to be on mangosteen. Decrease risk of GI disease, decrease symptoms of allergies, arthritis, joint pain, helps to regulate blood sugars. This is all just from this one superfruit. And so when I say you want to make sure you're adding the superfruits on, if you can, you want to make sure you're adding the superfruits on. They have a supporting role. 3 clinical studies on mangosteen showed that it has a supporting role in prevention of development of cancer and kills tumor cells and repairs DNA. I'm not saying it cures cancer. I'm just telling you what the studies have shown that you can go read yourself. Mangosteen, any inflammatory disease in regards to the heart, lung, allergies, or joint pain. We often talk about the 1, 2, 3 hit punch on allergies and pain. What is it? Mangosteen, Mila, and sulfur. Mangosteen, Mila, and sulfur. More powerful, obviously, if they do the Core Plus and just throw the mangosteen on. Okay? As I move into the next one, which is acai, the beauty berry, you guys hear me not talk about this one quite so much. It's from Brazil. The last one was from Southeast Asia. It's known as the queen of foods. All right, so it's known as the beauty berry from Brazil. Again, one of those thousands of years in Brazil. Listen, there's a company that literally was based just on acai. Just on acai. So that alone should make you go, this is a pretty powerful product for somebody to have a company that was just selling acai. Massive with cardiovascular benefits, but I'm going to do some reading while you guys can see the bullet points up on the screen. It's a strong cardiovascular protectant. So if you have issues with your heart of any kind, you want to be making sure that acai has been added to your regimen. Studies have shown that it helps with decreasing the blood pressure, decreasing cholesterol. Studies have shown that it aids in regulating diabetes, that it increases wound healing, that it decreases the symptoms of Alzheimer's. Studies have shown that it's got strong cancer-fighting properties. Clinical studies have shown it to be chemopreventative and chemotherapeutic. Chemopreventative means that it has the properties to potentially stop cancer from developing, and chemotherapeutic means that it has the ability to potentially treat cancer. Again, all from medical studies. So that's acai. I jump over this one all the time because I personally think this one tastes the worst. But after I was doing my research the other day, I'm like, okay, I need to start not jumping over that again because that's a good one. Now, Goji is very popular in our house for a number of reasons. Okay, so Goji is known as the happy berry. It's been grown in the Himalayan mountains for thousands of years. I'm not gonna go to the next slide. Okay, this is a big one. I've already touched on a few things that help with mood. In fact, somebody tell me one that I've already touched on that helps with mood. Go Yin. There's another one that I touched on. I don't know if I told you it helps with mood. Mila's huge. Mila's huge for mood. Okay, so Goji would be another one of those. Helps with the mood, the mind, and the memory. Has 19 amino acids and 21 trace minerals. Large amounts of vitamin C, which if you haven't heard Melissa's story recently you'll hear it later. The vitamin C is powerful for what we're all facing in the world right now. It has the ability to command and control many of the body's defenses systems. Studies have shown that it's high in protecting the immune system. Clinical studies published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine shows that it helps with decreasing fatigue, increased energy, feelings of happy mood and contentment, increasing athletic performance, which makes sense because it increases the circulation of the blood to all areas of the body, increases quality of sleep, decreases reflux issues, heartburn issues, decreases pain from the menstrual cycle, increasing sexual activities and performance, increasing insulin resistance, and this is a big one, prevents anemia. So I'm asked often, I'm probably asked once a week, do you have a product that has iron in it? So when I was reading this one the other day, I'm like, this is pretty big. It prevents anemia because it increases the absorption of iron into the cell. Iron is essential for the transport of oxygen into the cell. Well, all the studies from years ago showing the importance of being alkaline and having high amounts of oxygen in your cells, because cancer cells cannot thrive in an alkaline, oxygenated environment, makes you say, Goji is a big deal because it increases the oxygen level in your cells. So Goji is a powerful, powerful product. And again, it's like I'm saying, if you want to start with something, start with Core Plus. But if you can add these suckers on, add them on. Because these Superfruits are amazing. I don't know who thought animation was a great idea, but my goodness. Okay, we're going to jump into Noni because this is my favorite. This is my favorite. If I have to go anywhere with just one superfruit, it's Noni. My Camden's in the back. He will also tell you that it's his favorite, and he's 12. Okay? So why? It's called the king of superfruits. It's grown in the Polynesian regions of the earth. It's grown from volcanic soils. Javier and I were in Hawaii last summer, as were many of you guys, and the Noni fruits were all over the ground. We've taken a juicing class in Hawaii, and they've shown us how they ferment the Noni. Again, this is 100% wildly harvested Noni. It smells horrible. It tastes horrible. If the Noni you're drinking doesn't smell and taste horrible, it's no good. It has to be that way. It's a digestive bitter. If you consume a lot of pork or a lot of fish, you more than likely have parasites in your gut, which cause lots of issues all by itself. Parasites cannot live in the gut when you're consuming Noni. It's antibacterial, it's antiviral, it's anti-tumor. It's a blood purification system. It's a detoxifier. Clinical studies show that it's powerful in treating and preventing cancer. Again, this is just from studies. It stimulates nitric oxide. This is what it does. It stimulates nitric oxide production, which provides more, you guessed it, oxygen to the cell. So important. Okay, so zearonine is part of noni. It's in it. It's an alkaloid which activates, this is fascinating, it activates receptor cells on proteins in your nervous system, allowing them to absorb endorphins. I know that was mumbo jumbo, and bear with me as I go through my continuing medication education credits with you guys, because this is what we have to sit through in the medical world. Basically what that means is it takes the place of where pain lands in our body on the nervous system, and it fakes out the pain. So it acts like morphine on your central nervous system. So it's a pain reducer, and it's been known as a pain reducer for a very long time. I don't talk about it being a pain reducer, do I? Now, I talk a lot about anti-inflammatories like mangosteen, mila, and sulfur, but noni is known as a pain reducer because it actually hides the pain. That's a big deal, especially for people who have issues with Tylenol and Advil and are trying to avoid those things.